Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tarball Fall. Tarball Fall.
That's an awful name. I don't like that one.
Do
You think a ball of tar is gonna fall?
Yeah.
One more time, a little louder.
Oh,
But
yes.
not that deep. Maybe a little more high pitched right in my ear.
Maybe later. I'm a little shy now. I can't tarball while people are looking. Anyways, welcome to C2 Gaming.
Welcome back to C tier gaming, where
Oh,
no, I'm surprised that doesn't damage though.
Oh, that will though, and you're dead.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
What a brutal way to die. Drowning you.
Yeah.
So last episode we talked about 2020. Actually, that reminded me of the concept of time. Isn't it weird? Like, you have things that are pre and post 2020, where everything before 2020 didn't happen.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
everything after 2020, you're like, wow, that happened. Like, recently.
Yeah. No, I think I've seen like a lot
Like,
of
2019
things.
does not exist.
Yeah, no, I've seen a lot of things like similar to that of like, like time just goes by like so fast now. And like it definitely does, but I also feel like that's just because of people like our age are like the typical like, age you see of like adults now compared like not like exactly, but like we're now we're included, right?
Yeah.
In like adults, which here we are playing
Donkey Kong Country.
Donkey Kong Country Returns for let me on. But same logic still, and it's like that thing of when you're younger, 1 year feels like so long.
Yeah.
Because like that's one, like say you're like 10 years old, right?
It's a tenth of your life.
Yeah, it's a tenth of your life. Whereas like in my case, every year is 1/20th of my life, right? So it's still a year. It's still that same, but it's like different perspectives because of just how much life you've lived,
right?
And that's really interesting. And that brings us into something that I just thought of like
Season 2 of Free Ring came out.
No, I actually haven't seen that. I need to, but like, human cognition is so weird.
What are you, Persona 5?
No, but Persona 5 does a really good job going, like, more so third semester.
Yeah.
Third semester does a good job. The rest of the game does a good job too, but, like, mainly, like, the third semester, like human cognition, like, how, like, that can affect, like, the actual world.
Yeah.
And have I talked about this on CT already?
Human cognition?
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Like
no.
specifically about like Schrodinger's cat and Schrodinger's assistant and such.
I don't think you have.
Well, Kato, let me know if I've talked about this in the comments. So
I feel like I would remember a conversation. Like that.
God,
you might have like.
So the idea is of like how,
oh damn.
How much like human cognition affects like how we actually see the world around us, right?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Nice.
So the idea is like Schrodinger's cat is like, if you put this cat in a box with like this radioactive material, there's you're like sealing its fate away. And as long as you don't look in the box, you have no idea if the cat's still alive or if the cat's dead, right? But you can take that further, right? Or it's the idea of like quantum theory of it is both in a state of being alive and being dead, right? But you can go past that, right? Imagine then Schrodinger opens the box to see if he still has his cat, right?
Right.
You're gonna see
Factory, by the way.
I know, Factory, very very cool level. Is this puzzle piece? No. They didn't reward us that time, but the idea is like when Schrodinger opens the box, he will then know like if its cat is alive or not, right?
Yeah.
But his assistant out in the hall doesn't know if the cat is alive or not until they see Schrodinger's reaction. I was wondering what I do, and I didn't see this here. Wait, is this what I think it's gonna be? Oh my, no, it's not what I thought it was gonna be. Hello? Is that a mech?
Yeah, that's the chicken, right?
No, that's
I guess the chicken looked different.
Yeah. But then the idea is then you, the person, like say, I don't know, a janitor in the hallway won't know the fate of Schrodinger's cat until the assistant reacts to seeing Schrodinger react to what's in the box, right? So the idea is say to the janitor before the janitor sees,
and then the janitor's mother won't know what happened to the cat until she sees
it goes for
to the assistant who reacts to Schrodinger.
It goes for forever. But the idea is to the assistant, the cat is still in that state of being alive and dead, despite the fact that it's known elsewhere, right? So it to the perception of the assistant, it's unknown still.
Yeah.
Right. So the idea is once one person knows that something is a way that it is, you can see that as how do I word this? Like
I don't know.
It exists to that person in that way, right?
Uh-huh.
So, but you don't know. Not everyone knows until it's told to that person, right? So the idea then becomes is what happens if you convince an entire group of people and potentially say like the entire world that something is a certain way or isn't a certain way, right? By that logic, if every person is seeing something a certain way, it might as well be that way.
I see.
Right?
Yeah.
So what happens if you were if you were somehow able to convince the entire world, including yourself, that like Bigfoot existed, right? This is so cool. Oh my god, are we building a giant? Is that a DK mech?
Yeah.
Are we building a giant? This is so sick. So that's the idea, right? And that even like is gone into in detail in like Persona 5 even, right? You have the antagonist at the end of in the third semester being like, let's change the world's cognition to essentially make them, the entire world, not just believe that this person is still alive or like these people are still alive, but genuinely by convincing the entire world that I can just go, why would a single banana, a single banana.
It's a banana. Oh, banana.
But yeah, so the idea then
see the head.
Oh, I didn't realize that was doing that.
That's so cool.
That's so neat. Am I gonna have to fight that thing?
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, so that's like the idea behind it of like cognition, because like there's even like when it gets like quantum physics, the whole idea of like stuff genuinely does happen and stuff that genuinely does change depending on if we are observing it. So then you start getting into the whole thing of like, well, if you're able to convince, like the human like conscious is like really like insane when it comes to, like how you view the world.
Yeah.
Like there was a really interesting video that it was Wendigoon actually did on, I think it's called the 3 Jesuses of Ypsilanti.
Yeah.
Where it was just 3 people with schizophrenia that were convinced that they were Jesus, right? And the idea is like seeing. Like, it wasn't just like it wasn't like I'm going to pretend that I am. They genuinely, like, it was a belief that they were.
Yeah.
And there's nothing like, and it's just very, well, I thought I was going to first try that.
I mean, you were.
And, well, not the entire level, but that section at least.
Oh.
I have died in this level.
Just how much I've been paying attention.
Yeah, so it goes into the idea of, like, if you're able to convince, like, an entire, like,
group of people?
Yeah, like say the entire world that Bigfoot exists. Would Bigfoot then actually exist? Right? Because like, it might as well, because every person thinks that it does. So would it just like how does that work?
Yeah,
right?
I
but
guess
the idea is
that's
you can't experiment on that really, because like if you're trying to convince an entire group of people of something, you have to manage to convince everyone and also then yourself.
Yeah.
Right? But then it defeats the purpose because like, well, what are we experimenting on? That we're trying to convince the world that this exists, but then to you it does. right?
Yeah.
So you're not convincing anyone of anything because that just is how it is.
Oh.
So then it's
Like flat Earth. Everyone knows it's true.
exactly. I don't know. Like
That is super interesting.
yeah, and it's like, what could you do with that? And like that's what it goes into. Of it's not perfect, obviously, right? Because even like when you get to the idea in like Persona 5, right? You still have the character who's doing this to everyone.
Yeah.
That knows, right? So like, how perfect is it really? Would you have to have one person that knows the entire time in order to keep like the world how it is? But the idea that they were going off of is like, you can actually bring people back to life by being like, yeah, no, this person just never died. And convincing the entire world. Like, I was not the entire... You don't have it to where, like, you know, the entire world's convinced that someone's like dead or alive. You don't know every person, right?
Right.
But if every person who's ever known or ever seen someone, and now they're dead, if you convince them that they're still alive, could you do that? It's... I don't know.
Yeah.
Human cognition is just so, like, interesting.
That's interesting. I feel like in just my...
Oh my...
Are you gonna launch into space?
God. I don't know, but I can't wait to find out.
This is cool.
This is such a sick level. Oh.
Oh. Are you not gonna do anything with him? Oh, yes you can.
Oh. That was sick.
That was. You press that button, he like raises his arms like that, and then he just flips you off.
Why did you bring me to life?
Why bother?
Existence is hell.
I cannot die. I am not living. What is this? It's Schrodinger's cat.
I don't know. I don't know. Cognition is just so interesting because like it goes like there's so many like different like ways of like even like looking at it. Also, there's also like one of my favorite like dumb conspiracy theories because it's like one of those things that you genuinely could not ever prove is last Thursdayism.
Oh, okay.
I feel like I might have talked about this.
I don't know. You probably talked to me about it. I don't remember hearing it. Like C2.
Yeah. So it's wild
Also
being back in
level.
it's wild being back in World 8, by the way, because Dixie just cheated death. Thank you. Because we started out in World 8 in this recording session.
Yeah.
But man, come on.
Man, Dixie's really carrying.
She's so good. Yeah, like last Thursdayism. So the idea is that the universe only existed for what's today of recording? Today's Sunday.
Yeah.
So what Thursday was 3 days ago?
Yeah.
So the universe is 3 days old.
Ah.
And we were all put here with memories of entire lifetimes.
No. No. No.
And everything that we've ever known up until last Thursday is actually a lie. We were just all put here, and some other like creator put us on this planet with memories of entire lifetimes, and they actually never happened, and the universe is only as old as last Thursday. And obviously it doesn't have to be exactly Thursday, right?
I get your point,
but that's
yeah.
the idea of like everyone was put here with all these memories, and the universe actually just like didn't exist, and everything's made up. And it's so funny because, I mean, you can't prove or disprove that.
But that's totally one of those like child like I could say that's not true, and you'd be like, well, how'd you know? Maybe your memories were placed when you would think that.
Yeah.
Like that's so childish.
Already?
Wow.
Oh wait, I see the point. I see the problem.
Are you gonna die? Wait. Great. Oh my gosh, no way.
Oh.
There you go. That's an interesting theory.
Yeah. And listen, I like the idea of I got 0 puzzle pieces. That's the first level I've ever gotten 0 puzzle pieces on.
Probably.
But
Cloud.
yeah, no, the whole like Schrodinger's assistant thing, like that's interesting, like how you view the like the world and how people view the world entirely builds how the world is like exists.
Yeah.
Like that's super interesting. Last Thursdayism just stupid. Because you can't, it is physically impossible to prove or disprove. And it's just dumb. but it is really funny.
It is funny, I will say.
Anyways, next time on C Tier Gaming,
Golden Temple.
fourth and final bonus episode of Donkey Kong Country.
Woo!
Which works out perfectly because we record these in 8s, and this is the 8th episode we're recording. But anyways,
yeah.
Yeah. We'll see you guys
Well, have
next
fun
time.
thinking about that today.
Yeah. If you have an existential crisis, feel free to let us know down in the comments below.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe if you too had an existential crisis about the fabric of reality. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
All right,
if tomorrow
bye.
even exists.
No, there's one person I know is gonna freak out if we keep talking about it.
We'll see you guys next time.
All right, see you later. Or not.